You feel my power, baby? Feel my power.
Welcome back to the Paddy Power Poker School. One of the most difficult aspects for new players learning No Limit Texas Hold'em online is to know how much to bet when you're in a hand. If you're having difficulty with this concept, you should ask yourself first, what do you want your bet to accomplish? Do you want your opponents out of the hand, or do you want to keep your opponents in the hand? There are good reasons for either of these objectives, ranging from bluffing to even holding a monster. The size of your bet will have a huge impact on the actions of your opponents, so if you get this strategy down, you can also take control of most hands when you decide to bet. To clarify, a bet is when you act first in the hand by opening the hand with a bet, or your opponents have either checked or limped over to you, giving you the opportunity to raise. This could mean you are first to act by virtue of being out of position, or your opponents have checked or limped before you. Now, keep in mind that the size of your bet will alter everything that happens in the hand from then on. In saying that, the two biggest betting mistakes that new players make, especially in No Limit, are overbetting and underbetting the pot. Here's a common underbetting situation that can often be a clear indication as to which player at the table is weak or new at the game. For the purposes of this video, we're going to say that that person is not you because you know better than that. It's going to be somebody else. You might even know him.
Tony G.
In fact, you made a decent play here in this No Limit Hold'em table by calling in late position in a multi-way pot with some groovy looking connectors. But then this Tony guy over here in the big blind decides to raise. But he only min raises here. We peek at his cards and we can see that he's actually made a huge tactical error here, because raising that amount would rather much commit everyone else to call the raise because of lucrative pot odds. So the question again is, why are you betting? With pocket kings, you want to narrow the field here because Tony will now be an underdog to his combined opponents. Okay, so now that we know who we're playing against, let's change up the hands and look at a common overbetting mistake that could very well happen in the same type of circumstances. You're holding the same hand with the same limpers ahead of you, and hey, you're playing your good game, so you limp into this hand again. But Tony has a different idea this time with his pocket kings. He is so concerned about being outdrawn, he raises all in here, bringing the pot from $1.10 to $7.50.
All in.
Now, for the same reason all these players had to call in the first scenario, they would also all likely have to fold in this one because they're holding the type of hands that need to see a flop. The biggest problem Tony has here is with a hand like pocket kings, he could potentially win a more lucrative pot against one, maybe two opponents. So this is really no way to get value from a premium hand, and he's kind of wasting an opportunity here. So there are a few standard bet sizes for raising in No Limit Hold'em besides shoving all in.
All in.
You'll often see players betting half the pot, 2/3 the pot, and making pot size bets. When you measure your bets against the size of a pot, well, that's a good way to know how much to bet in common situations that come up all the time. If you're the first one in the pot to bet pre-flop, you can bet against the size of the big blind, usually 3 to 5 times the size. There's a lot of reasons for you to be the bettor in a poker hand, but by planning your objective for the bet before you make it, you'll go a long way to making yourself a formidable opponent in online poker. Thanks for watching. You can check out more specific betting strategies in our other poker school videos at paddypowerpoker.com.
You will never want to play poker again with me, ever!